appreciate you guys for having me on. For real, thank you so much.
This is going to be something meaningful and special. It gave me
nature of the beast when you're not in a group with like 5 other people.
Thankfully, I've actually been able to get to a place now where I'm even beyond
like,
ring time.
What I do is just like write and record music.
Finally landed a show, and for the first time in my life, I was making real money in show.
Hand press every shirt, every koozie.
I put together songs coming and an album we're going to be dropping.
Stuff I think is really cool, and it ends up being some stuff like this guy sounds like Bob
Dylan. Song. It was like some '80s Loverboy song, but it was supposed to be
the only one that doesn't have
a beanie.
Yeah,
and you don't have a beard.
The world needs more people like you guys. What you're doing is amazing.
All right. Welcome back to another episode of In the Lounge with JG and Brofiki. JG's out sick today, so it's just me, Brofiki, hosting the show with JustNate. Nate, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Man, it's been wonderful. I appreciate that. It's been such a pleasure just hosting this show with a dear friend of mine and a large group of artists and musicians and creators and how we met. It's just a very interesting thing to be able to help host space for people to talk about their art. So thank you for taking the time and investing in yourself to tell your story. And I'm excited to learn about everything. I've listened to a couple of your tracks so far.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. I guess the first question I want to get into is like, why music?
Why music? Huh.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever been asked that question.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good question though. To be honest, I don't really know.
Okay.
It's kind of the unanswered question I've always had, but
yeah.
Because I don't know. I mean, I was 4, maybe 5 years old when I started really singing, and my dad saw that I had this talent, and dude, my dad was my biggest supporter. He just invested everything into that. I mean, he could see it wasn't going to go anywhere for me. Music was coming, and it was coming fast. And so I started writing young, and my songs were silly, obviously.
Yeah.
At first, but I don't really know why. I just know that it's there and it's supposed to be.
Okay. And you play a couple instruments, right? I've seen you play the guitar in some of your social media posts. What other instruments do you play?
I play guitar, piano, ukulele. I don't know, really anything I can get my hands on, I can kind of figure it out.
Yeah.
Except for the saxophone. That one haven't been able to get that one going at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can appreciate the attempt though. I mean, those things scare me too, man.
It's
I feel
all of
that.
those brass instruments, man. I can't get into those. I can't. I don't know. It wasn't part of the whole music thing, I guess, and that's okay.
All right. And then with the guitar, so I could play guitar for a few songs, but I could never read music to save my life. I was always just like, I could listen and just like play it, or I can read it and watch like finger movements. How was it learning the guitar for you?
So I haven't. I mean, I took like choir and stuff in high school, and I took violin when I was in elementary school, and I've taken a bunch of different classes. I've taken piano lessons, and they tried to teach me how to read music. I mean, I've had plenty of lessons that I should be able to read the stuff like the back of my hand. I'll tell you, I can't read almost a lick. I mean, it's terrible. I mean, I can really take my time and look at the notes, and I can understand it, and I can do it really slow. But I've always played by ear, just hearing a song or hearing a song in my head that doesn't even exist yet, and then just figuring that out on whatever instrument I'm playing or my voice or whatever it is. But yeah, I've tried to read music and it just doesn't work. But playing by ear seems to do the trick, especially with piano. I can figure out most songs. Yeah, I mean, I have a good understanding of music theory, so that helps too. But
there you go. Did you go to school for music at all, or just since you were a kid picked it up, just ran with it?
Yeah, no, I haven't gone to any professional schools or anything like that for music. Just growing up, and then I just kind of ran with it. I won a bunch of competitions and stuff growing up, and I don't know, my family was always pushing me and saying, "Oh, you have to do something with music. You have to. It's definitely what you were made to do." And I think confidence-wise, I always struggled
Yeah.
thinking I was like, that's not realistic. That can't happen. Um, but I mean, you don't really know unless you shoot your shot. So here I am.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I admire that. Like, we're just all musicians, all creators, all artists, man. That's exactly it. Like, sometimes you have to be your biggest cheerleader. You have to be your number one fan. You have to be your partner first before you could be somebody else's partner. You got to show up for yourself first. But does that resonate with you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
that's crazy. Like, sometimes we want to have the support, the guidance, and the love from others. Sometimes when we're having those moments of insecurity, like, oh, can I do this? Can I do this?
Mm-hmm.
Guys, hello? You're like, hello? Where'd everybody go?
Yep. Where's that validation that I so badly need in this moment?
Yeah. Right. It's so true. That imposter syndrome, when that creeps in and you're like, can I do this? And you're like, wait, I'm already doing it. Like, what are you talking
Yeah.
about? Like, I'm already playing music. I'm already doing shows. I'm already recording something. I'm putting it out. I'm putting myself out there, putting yourself on the map, expanding your brand. And I think that's what's inspired me the most, and why I even wanted to do this podcast to begin with. When we started this a couple years ago, was I'm like, all right, I was invited to Jukebox Ginger's podcast, and it was a comedian skit, right? And he knew that I was into astrology and stuff, and being a Pisces, we get a lot of teasing being a Pisces. Like, you guys are emotional
What?
dudes. What? Like, you guys are so emotional. You got, like, you're so extreme with emotions. We're like, and, you know? And so we
What's the
did this
problem?
skit. I know. I'm just like, we just wish that you could express yourself as much as we can freely,
Right.
without worrying about things. It's kind of like we do things first. Like, we cross the line all the time, instead of staring at the line wondering, like, what's on the other side of that. Like, let's go,
We
full send,
ask
full send.
forgiveness rather than permission.
Exactly. They're like, I mean, here's the thing: they save the best for last, right? Pisces is the last zodiac sign, so it's like, so I already know that you're a Pisces because we talked about this prior, but it's like,
Yeah, right.
it really is different working with other artists, especially some of the bigger ones that I follow that are like Geminis, right? Like, uh, G-Eazy is a Gemini. Makes sense, right? Because he's
Hmm.
all flashy. He's got his own style doing that thing. We're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. And then
Yeah.
you have other artists like Rihanna, that's a Pisces. That's like, she doesn't want to be the center of attention, but she just wants her music to be better than
Mm-hmm.
what she was a year ago. And
Right.
that's what I love about it. um, how would you define the type of genre of music that you're trying to create? I know you're kind of dabbling in a few different things, but what kind of route are you feeling right now? What's your vibe lately, Nate?
So, I mean, I've tried a bunch of different genres. And I'm actually really, really good at impressions.
Okay.
Impressionating my voice to a vast number of different accents and different things like that. And I've always been practicing those since I was a kid, and my family always got a crack out of it. Well, the problem with that is being able to imitate like that is you can actually imitate other artists when you're singing.
Oh, okay.
So I can sound like a lot of different artists. I can have a twang. I can have a little bit more of a poppy voice. I can.
Yeah.
I mean, there's days if it's a really good day, I can sound like The Weekend. You know.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, so
but
cheers the weekend.
yeah, and but I think where what lies with what I'm finding that lies more comfortable for me, as far as writing goes, and as far as my emotions go, and as far as where I want to like actually take the direction, I think it's more along the lines of like folk country
Okay.
with a little bit of pop in it. It might even be its own genre. I'm not really sure,
I
but
love that.
it's kind of somewhere in between there.
Okay. So, taking, from my understanding, this would be taking a compilation of a lot of your favorite things and then making something new out of it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the best, man. I love that so much. I see that all the time too. Or it's like, what is this? A few other people that I've worked with, and I'm like, I can't even define this, and I love it. but that's also what's scary, and that's what can be unnerving for us as creators or artists. Like, wait a minute, this, I don't know if I could like determine success from this because it's never been done before, right?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
so to me, like, that's my favorite part about the creative process. I mean, look at Picasso, for example. Like, do you think he cared about what people thought about his art?
No, I don't think he. I don't think
No.
he. I don't think he probably gave a crap.
You
No.
know, no, I look at some of the greats. We've got Albert Einstein, we've got Nikola Tesla, we got these guys that are these, quote, batshit crazy dudes. They're Pisces, man.
Mm,
We're innovators. We gotta go to the next level. I
sure.
don't mean to tie zodiac stuff into all this or
That's
astrology. I've just
okay.
been diving
That's
into it
okay,
so
man.
much that I'm like, like today's a significant day. So it's September 8th. It's actually my brother's birthday. Shout out to my brother Ryan Bennett, making it to 45. Proud of you, dude.
Happy birthday,
Um,
Ryan.
but yeah, since I was like looking at all this stuff, and I'm like, what astrological things are changing in the atmosphere today? And there's actually, I'm going to share this with you. Maybe you'll get a kick out of this. So there is a asteroid that's floating around in our atmosphere called Pallas.
Oh,
Like a Pallas. It's called Pallas, but it's Pallas Athena, so the owl. And it says this: Pallas Athena speaks of a sharp and guarded intellect. Mythological Athena is the goddess of wisdom, intellect, skill, strategy, and defense. Her father, Zeus, swallowed her mother, Midas, goddess of wise counsel and planning, possibly to hide her from his spouse, Hera. Athena gave her father a pounding headache, then leapt fully grown and completely armored from her father's forehead. This powerful goddess could beat the males at their own game and challenge the world to never underestimate feminine strength and wisdom. Right? So that's the story of it. And it says the gift is ask for help when you need it, and divine answers will reveal themselves. You can think through the situation with a combination of rigorous logic and a real curiosity about the truth, all connected to an open heart.
I don't know.
So I just look at that, and it's like Pallas is moving into Sagittarius. Well, my co-host Juke is a Sagittarius, and I love that dude. Him and my grandfather have the same birthday, so I'm always like, Daddy, Granddaddy, you're my granddaddy, Juke. You're my granddaddy. Because my grandfather passed away before I was born. I just thought that was kind of interesting. But I'm glad we set this up.
Yeah, me too.
There have been 2 songs that you've released on Spotify. Tell me about them.
So the most recent one is My Phantom Addiction. That's my original.
Yeah.
I wrote it last year, and that song's just, to be honest with you, it's about whatever you want to interpret it as far as the addiction goes, because everybody carries around an addiction in their pocket no matter what it is, right? Everybody's carrying around something. Yeah. Whether it's whether you're going home every day and you're addicted to the abusive life that you've created for yourself, or you're addicted to vape, or you're addicted to drugs or alcohol or whatever it is. It is so addictive to get, it's so easy to get addicted to pretty much anything. And that's what that song is about, is being able to let those things go, and understanding how to let those things go, and hoping it can help people do that.
I love that. I love that. I definitely can relate to that. And just having that word, it's funny because the first time I heard of a phantom addiction or phantom pain was from a previous partner of mine in my life. And I didn't experience what phantom addiction, like, convulsions were, right? So, like, when you're taking medication for a long period of time and you try to get off of it, right, you start having withdrawals. And you're like, what is this? Because you can have withdrawals from love. You can have withdrawals from attention. You can have withdrawals from, energy drinks because, you get to a point where you're like, I can't afford them, or I'm too tired to go to the store to buy one. And then you're like, why am I feeling so weird or whatever? So I love that you're able to take, something that's so relevant and relatable and make a song about it. So thank you for sharing that with the world, man.
Yeah, for sure. And the other song is a cover, Whiskey Glasses, Morgan Wallen's song. Yeah, that one I don't. To be honest, I think I mean, you kind of know why I did that song, but um, I don't know. I had been getting told by a lot of people, "Hey, man, it's time for a country song. It's time."
Yeah.
I was doing tons of lives on TikToks, and honestly, that's I got to hear from so many thousands of different people of what sounded better, what I was
Yeah.
singing on live. And so I was kind of able to help dial it down with that too. But people wanted to hear country, and so I was going through all the country songs I was singing pretty regularly on live, and that was like the most liked one. Is the one I really really liked, and actually meant a lot to me. So
Yeah.
I went down in the basement and pulled up a track and recorded the sucker in one take, man. One take. It's the only song I've done in one take. And I have quite a few other songs besides those two
Yeah, of
on
course.
Spotify. They're just under a different artist name that I had before that I didn't think was anyway, it was more of
Rebranded.
my it was a pre-branded amateur name, and I released a couple of amateur songs, and yeah.
That sounds like
The
it's
name
time to
was
re-release. Let's
the
hear
name was
this.
Sharkfoot, if you guys want to go and try to find that Easter egg.
Sharkfoot.
Sharkfoot.
All right, you got to tell me this. Does this have to do something with Shark Boy and Lava Girl?
No, no, it does
Okay.
not.
All right, that's the first thing that comes to mind because of my little boys. They're just
Yeah, no, no, I've got a tattoo of a shark on my foot.
Okay.
No.
Why do we have a shark tattoo on our foot?
I was 17 and I was ready for a tattoo and no
Okay.
idea what I wanted to get. My parents could not know, so I had to get it in a hidden location, which the foot was, prime location for that.
As long as you're
And
wearing socks, yeah.
as long as I'm wearing socks. Anyway, I ended up finding this guy on, I think it was Craigslist, man. I found this guy on Craigslist. I ended up meeting with him. I drove like an hour, ended up meeting with this guy. I go into his house and it's in this ghetto freaking neighborhood.
Yeah.
And I ended up getting this tattoo, my first tattoo on my foot in the basement of this dude's house.
Basement tattoos are the best.
It
Okay.
it hasn't faded since I was 17 though. And I mean, it looks great. So he did a good job.
Let me guess, it's on your right foot.
It is on my right foot.
Yeah, I have a right foot tattoo as well, man.
Right
And
on.
mine actually, so I did mine underneath where the band of my flip flops are, so it would cover it when I'm wearing flip flops.
Oh, interesting.
So that's kind of funny. Mine's Carpe Diem.
Oh, Carpe Diem. Right on. Seize the day, man.
Yeah, there was a gal that I was like really into in high school, and I was stationed down in Texas for cryptolinguist school, and I was going through a divorce and separation, and she became my friend, just a friend through the internet, just like, hey, if you need somebody to talk to, whatever. I was like, all right. And I haven't seen her since high school. And then when she came back to Utah to visit her family for the holidays, I noticed she had this Carpe Diem tattoo, and I really liked it. She's also a Pisces. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I want to get a tattoo. I'm going to get the same tattoo, but just in a different handwriting, different place. And so that's what that tattoo is for me. It's just like, that was a moment of time for me where I'm just like, fuck it. Change, transition, tattoos between going through my first divorce to I started getting tattoos and started drinking alcohol, and I left the church. All in like 2 months.
The church or
yeah, the LDS church,
the
yeah, because
LDS
I
church?
I was pretty active for 4 or 5 years at that time, from 19 to 24.
Yeah, I grew up in the church.
Did
I grew
you?
up in the church
Okay.
as well. Yeah.
Has
I
that
left when I
influenced
was
you at all? Like with
I left when I
music
was
and creative?
16 or 17. No.
16? Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I can't say no because I definitely have written some Christian songs. I actually just wrote one recently. I'll tell you, this last week that we just had has
Yeah.
been probably one of the most substantial writing weeks I've ever had.
Really?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that for you, man.
I wrote 3 full songs within 2 days. It was
That's
awesome.
incredible.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay. Okay.
There's one that I'm really, really excited about. It's the most recent one. It was the last one I wrote.
Okay.
But man, it just came out sounding right. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
when you get that sound right and you're just like, oh, that's it.
That's it. Yep, yep.
That's
This
it.
is what I did. Yeah, this is what I
Yeah.
was doing. That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
What do you think significant about this week for you specifically that gave you some more creative juice or whatever? What's going on? What's going on with you?
To be honest, dude, I can't. I think I have to attribute all of my creative energy, or at least most of it, to my wonderful fiance.
I love that.
Yeah, she is
Yeah.
something else, man. I mean, you kind of, yeah. I mean, you've had similar stories, but like, life has not always been the easiest, and
Yeah.
love has not always been felt. But yeah, I don't know. My fiance is just like, she's an amazing woman. She's incredibly
Yeah.
intelligent, and by far the most supportive person I've ever been with. I mean, she just
Yeah.
she funnels all of her energy into, let's be creative. I mean, she's so
Yeah.
creative herself. She's a Pisces as well.
Oh, look at
Yeah,
you. Fishy, fishy.
yeah. It's just, I don't know. It's just this magical. I don't know. That's the only way I can say it. It's magical. That's we got engaged about a month ago on the 4th of August,
Okay.
and then
Wonderful day. That was a
yeah,
wonderful day.
yeah, it was a really good day. Went up to a waterfall. It was beautiful. But that's I gotta. I mean, I think the last, because I feel like I had lost my creative juices for a little while,
Okay.
especially like the first half of this year. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and so like I'm just getting those creative juices back the last few months, and writing again and getting back into it. I had too many life altering things, and I had to kind of take a break for like 6 months. But um, anyway, but now I'm here. The goal's still the same. So we're back.
Yeah. That's wonderful. I think it's really important for our audience and anybody listening to this now or in the future to never give up on your goals or dreams. And sometimes it is okay to pause for a moment, shift things up, and work on other things. Kind of like, after you have a windstorm at the house. Like, for example, so I'm sitting on my deck right now. We got like one of the most beautiful views in Salt Lake, but we have a bird nest up here. We got two doves that live here, and they make such a mess of the carpet on the deck. And so like I'm like, man, I gotta clean this up. And so I had to stop doing what I was doing creatively, working on some stuff yesterday. I had to vacuum it, for example. So I like spent like a good 20 minutes just vacuuming the damn rugs on the deck just because the kids are running. We got the kids this weekend, so they're running around. Uh, but that's kind of like life, you know what I mean? Like things come up and you're
Yeah.
like, do I need to address this now? And the truth is like, yeah, sometimes you do. And it is okay to take a break. It is okay to like retreat
Yeah.
and come back and just like, you know what? Like I'm still doing the thing I said I was doing. And although I might have had a date set in play for me or I wanted to do something this year, it's still happening, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sometimes it's the right idea, wrong people. Sometimes it's the right idea, wrong time. But everything happens exactly the way it's supposed to,
I agree
I
with that
think,
100%.
in my opinion. I'm curious. I'm gonna look something up right here. Well, you said August 4th, huh?
August 4th.
I love being weird. I've been working on a book for a little while, and I've been cross-referencing just a bunch of stuff just for kicks and giggles with people. And August, the first week of August was huge for me too. Yeah, Venus entered Virgo on August 4th. Venus, the planet of love and relationships.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, so that's cool. Preparing for that. So, and then you had a new moon in Leo on that day as well. So, new moon is new intentions, new everything. So, yeah, August 4th, the new moon and Venus move. So, like, of course, you got engaged on that day because it was a good, beautiful day for relationships and connections and things like that. Guys, this is why I use the stars for everything and why I plan things around the stars. Literally. It's just fun. It's fun. Um, so who are some of your music influences? Who influenced you? Like, let's go back to Nate's teenage years. You said that
John Mayer.
John Mayer. All right. All right. All right. Okay, Dear John by Taylor Swift is queuing in my mind right now, but that's fine. Tell me about John Mayer.
Yeah, I got to give credit to John Mayer, man. That guy has always been one of my biggest influences. I don't really know why. I don't know why his sound specifically just talks so much to me, but the cry in his voice, the lyrics, and I don't know, just that bluesy, beautiful sound. Like it's just, I love it. I still love it to this day.
Yeah.
But I definitely think that I've modeled myself as a lyricist, or at least tried to a little bit off of John Mayer.
Okay.
Just kind of, and what I mean by that is just some of his metaphorical lyricism.
Yeah.
I feel like as you learn to write, as you create, and as the years go by and you're writing and writing and writing, you start to learn to take what you're wanting to say in such a direct way and make it into and start creating metaphors and a story in it for people to be able to stories out of it. Because you can create a song, write a song that's got everything written out exactly how it happened, but it's not going to resonate with people because not everybody had the exact same story. So you got to take your song, you got to take your story, and you have to structure it in a way that's going to reach more people than just yourself. You know?
Yeah.
But John Mayer for sure. He's and then Post Malone the last few years. I mean, that guy is just
a powerhouse.
He's a powerhouse, man. The guy's a powerhouse. He works hard. The dude has gotten he's platinumed in 3 different genres, I believe now.
Yeah. Country, rap,
nuts.
alternative.
Yeah, country, rap, and alternative, man. That's a big feat. Nobody's ever done that before.
I believe he got the award of Billboard Top 1 Album in 3, if I remember correctly. And like Taylor Swift hasn't even done that.
No.
Thank you, Posty, and thank you for bringing people to Utah because Post Malone lives here. Jelly Roll is now moving.
Yes,
to
he
Utah.
does live in Utah.
Yeah.
Post Malone's got remember. From what I'm aware, he's got kind of like a almost like a base.
Yeah, he does.
He's a little bit of a prepper.
Yep, he is.
You know, he's got a machine gun mounted in the back of his truck.
I do now. He would. Yeah. I mean, he's a Texas boy. Oh, yeah. And I lived in Texas for quite a few years, actually, so I get it. And I also understand Utah. My understanding of Utah, especially where I was just visiting last weekend with my girlfriend and our kids in LaSalle, the LaSalle Mountains out in Moab, is there's no fault lines, and so there's no danger of earthquakes. It's got its own renewable water resource. And it is less prone because there's so much water and vegetation that it's not apt to get wildfires or natural disasters. It's so far out of the way for the zombie apocalypse. So like there's a certain area of Utah that's just like the safest place in the United States, and most people don't know about it. So I'm like,
that's awesome.
Yeah. So Utah
don't
is
tell people where it's at, man.
No, I won't. I won't.
Areas.
Well, Moab kind of is a tourist area. Think about it. Like, I just went and visited my buddy's property out there, and he's just got like just red rocks just surrounding everything. And he put a stage in the damn middle of it for musicians to come play. And he's like, "Hey, just bring people here." And I'm like, "You want people to come here? Like, just bring them out. Just bring them out. People need to visit the magic of this space." And I think that's what Utah is like. Not only, in my opinion, is Utah like the hardest place to live in the U.S. because it's so judgmental, but I would think about this, like if you're looking at like karma, right? Anyone that has karma, if you need to clear that, come to Utah and date a Utah girl if you're a guy, or if you're a girl, date a Utah girl. Or don't. Or don't. Or don't. But if you got some karmic debt, I promise you, you hang out with one for about 6 months, that karma will be cleared. Real quick. So speaking of metaphors, that's one for us, for the books, is just sometimes the people that we meet in life are literally just the catalyst to test you, to make sure that what you want to do is going to happen, and whatever creative fuel or energy that you needed that you lacked prior to that, they will be that. Through heartbreak, through anger, through anguish, through anxiety, through inspiration, through intuition, through teaching you new ideas, new ideologies, new theologies, new philosophies of life or ways of living by being the example of what not to do and what not to be.
Exactly.
And so there's a lot of mirrors here. You know what I mean? You're just like, yo, people always ask me, where are you from? And I have to ask, I respond with, what part of my life are you referring to? Where was I born? Where did I grow up as a kid, as a teenager? Because it's all different stories.
I just say my
Right?
mom.
Yeah, I came from my mom. Who raised you? And I'm like, I don't think I was raised, and that's the problem.
By the wolves. I don't know.
Exactly, because at the end of the day, we're all raising ourselves. We're kids raising kids. And we didn't have parents to raise
That's
us
the
because
truth.
they were at work. They were dealing with their own trauma. They didn't have the tools and resources that we have. They didn't have social media. They didn't have
Right.
TikTok. They didn't have Facebook. They didn't have Facebook events that we could find for us to go to find other people like us.
Yeah.
Would you say that your music has been influenced by maybe a specific concert or a show or a movie that or an event that you've attended that like really, do you have any of those stories?
Yeah, I've got one pretty good one.
Let's
So
hear it.
in high school, it was the first time I'd been on a it was the first time I'd been on a big stage. On a big stage.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
big one. So I was in choir in high school. All of high school, all of middle school, I was in choir.
Same.
And yeah, funny enough, I actually ended up with the same teacher all of middle school and all of high school because he transferred to the high school right after I finished middle school. So I had the same teacher all the way through, which was awesome. So we have in Nevada, there's it's called an all-state choir competition. So all the schools in the state, they all compete. And those choirs the choirs that make it to a regional competition. And then those regional ones have a different competition. And then the ones that make it out of those make it to a state competition. So
Yeah.
all the best singers in the state come together at UNLV in Las Vegas. And then we train for a week and everything. Anyway, I won't go too much into it, but I had made it to this state competition. I made it a few times, but this one specific year, I had made it, and then they had a solo to audition for. And so I auditioned. They said any of the young men that want to audition for the solo come up to the front. There's literally like 150 of the dudes. We all went up front. We all auditioned. We sang the same line, all of us, over and over and over again.
Okay.
I ended up winning the audition, so I got the audition, and I won the part. I was like, heck yeah, that's cool. Well, after that comes singing in front of like 20,000 people in a big stadium, in the huge
Wow.
orchestrated stadium in UNLV.
Yes.
So concert time comes, and I go to sing my solo, and I get in front of all these people, and I have an oh crap moment. I forgot all of the lyrics to the song. Yeah, so for the solo, there was a good bit of it that was hummed and pieced together. It was terrible. It was one of the most embarrassing moments of my life. But I'll tell you, it was also one of the most remarkable moments of my life because it was the moment I knew I wanted to be on a stage without having that happen. I wanted to be able to be on a stage like that and be comfy.
I love that. Yeah, so I guess in a way it sounds like it was humbling too. You're like, I want this, but I'm not ready for it.
Mm-hmm.
No. Yeah, man. Guys, how often do we feel that way where we want something, we need it, we know it's supposed to happen, we get up there and we're just like, it's not that you had stage fright because you got on the stage, but you're like, I didn't know how to respond or react to this.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people staring right at me.
That's a lot. Yeah. Oh.
It's fun, though. It's a good experience.
Good for you. How long ago was that for you?
It was 2011.
Okay.
That was the year that happened.
Crazy year.
I forget how old I'm getting sometimes, man.
Sorry.
Yeah, 2011. But and then I really only started pushing myself to get out on stages just the last couple of years, like actual stages, doing gigs, and just trying to get out there because I feel like for most of my early 20s, I've definitely had a confidence issue.
Yeah.
Some big confidence issues. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I feel
just
that.
self-esteem and like not thinking or knowing that you're really good enough to do anything with the talent you've got, or I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's human nature that we just badger ourselves, and
we do.
We're not very nice to ourselves,
Yeah. No,
a lot of
us,
we're not super nice to ourselves, and it's not fair. We should be nicer to ourselves.
Yeah.
We deserve that.
I agree. I agree. Yeah. I would say that imposter syndrome creeps in often from time to time. Like, for instance, like I'm taking my family to go see a movie today that I filmed. Right? So like they didn't get to go to the film festival with me, and I've literally have had the jitters so much. It's kind of like when you write a song and you're okay listening to it, but then like having your homies, your family, your kids listen to the song that you wrote, it's a little different. So I'm like, oh my God, I've never had this experience before. And I'm like, what if they hate it? Now granted, I didn't do it for them, but it's like, this is me putting my skills with a camera and like
you want them to love it, of course
it's like my vision. I'm like, this is how I see things, and this is what I wanted to capture. But this is also because that's how I view a movie. That's how I view my life, man. I'm like, I'm showing you literally what I see when I look at people. And like when scenes are exaggerated or lines are rewritten to be more enunciated or powerful or, emotional, like that's kind of like how I view life. It's like, am I dramatic? Fuck yes, I'm dramatic. I bring the drama to the table, baby. Like, yo, spice this shit up. You guys are speaking monotone. You people in Utah don't pronounce your fucking T's. I'm like, I can't understand the thing you're saying. What do you mean that you're going to go
to the mountains?
The mountains in Bountiful. You're like,
yeah.
What? Are you a bunny? Or they say like every 5 seconds. I was like, eyes like. I'm like, eyes like? What the hell is that? What's an eyes like? No offense to anybody. I'm just like, unfortunately, I've lived here too long that I've picked up on it too. But at the same time,
the literalies.
Literally, actually. That's a new thing. And my teenagers, they're making up words like skibbity. That's skibbity. It's skibbity posh. You're like, what does this mean?
That's facts, no printer, dude.
Facts, no cap.
Yeah.
I feel like there should be a song just like using all of the new slang, and it would probably blow up and go viral.
It probably would.
You're like, skibbity doo dah, skibbity day. I got no cap. I don't know what to say, so I'll make up some words about nonsense and beef. But we're all vegan now, and we don't eat cows.
I like it. That could be a hit.
I don't know. It would be something stupid because people are like, I don't want to eat that. That's processed food. I want my kombucha. I want my tea. I want my boba. And you're like, you're 9. Like, my 9-year-old asks me for boba tea now.
I like boba tea. I think it's pretty good. It's very sweet.
Yeah. It's just one of those things. The way the world is trending.
I think I prefer whiskey, but that's just me.
What kind? What's your go-to?
To be honest, dude, I am not one of those guys that have a go-to whiskey. I have tried hundreds of whiskeys, and I like trying new whiskeys all the time, just because they all have a little bit of a different profile, and I don't know. I really enjoy it. I actually really enjoy it. I mean, I'm 28 now. I'm not drinking to not be able to remember. So I just drink for the taste or the social aspect of it these days, and so I like the taste.
Yeah,
I like the taste of the different ones.
All right. I grew up with an Irish background because my birthday is on St. Patrick's Day, so everybody's celebrating this Irish St. Patrick, and so I like Tullamore Dew. Tullamore Dew with ginger beer and lime is my favorite drink.
That sounds
hands
good.
down. Splash of Fresca, just like half an ounce of Fresca in there too. You're just like, good to go. That's what I was
I don't
asking.
know if I don't know if I've tried one of those before. I typically I'm super simple. I'm like a what's it called? A purist. That's the word.
Yeah.
I either like whiskey neat or whiskey on the rocks um or just like a whiskey sour.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
wish I could drink whiskey sours, but my heartburn is so bad. That's why I do the ginger.
Yeah,
Helps me out a
the
lot. I'm a little bitch when it
I
comes
think
to
you froze
drinking.
a little.
I
Oh,
rarely
there you are.
drink anymore. I don't like drinking alcohol because every time I've gotten in trouble or gotten arguments with people, I was drinking whiskey, and I learned that the hard way because when I drink whiskey, like I don't fuck around. Like if you're gonna be a dick or you're gonna be a bitch about it, I'm like, you're talking to the wrong spirit right now. You're talking to the whiskey spirit, and he's saying respectfully, fuck you. That's the best way to put it. That's what's all right. Let's dive back into music for you. So you're on the precipice of your career, kind of taking off, right? Like
I
you're
sure
finally
hope
like
so, man.
I'm taking the next step, right? So
Yeah.
let's touch on the struggles that you've had with getting started and going, not just out of like
Oh yeah.
missing the creatives, but like what have you struggled with trying to get your music written or produced maybe, or even your outlets? Like let's talk about that because I feel like a lot of people can relate to that.
We could talk about equipment alone, and
Equipment, okay.
you know exactly what I mean when I'm talking about equipment and the costs that
Yeah.
are associated to that.
Yeah.
To be able to get your music to a quality where the masses are going to listen to it, you have to have good equipment, or at least
Interesting.
half decent
Okay.
equipment.
Yeah.
And so it's taken me years to actually get the equipment even needed to even be able to start recording the most simple stuff.
Yeah.
And obviously I've built on that a little bit, but I'm still, still getting equipment, still in those stages. I mean, I don't think that probably doesn't ever end. But yeah, the equipment costs are a big one. The the biggest one though is social media and
Yeah.
my lack of understanding of how social
Okay.
media works.
Yeah.
I mean, a couple years
It's a big
ago,
one.
I was so tired of social media. Yeah, and I went back to a flip phone. And
Uh-huh.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. Your face is kind of frozen, so I wasn't sure.
Yeah, there was a little
Um,
cutout for a second.
yeah, you're good. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. So the hold on, let me wrap my mind back around where I was at.
Equipment, quality,
Equipment, quality, and then social media. Yeah, we're talking about social
social
media.
media. Yep.
Yeah, so really just understanding the algorithms, understanding what people want to see, what people want to listen to, and catering to the people is difficult because everybody likes a little bit something different. And so I'm trying to stay true and unique and original to my creativity and music while being able to share that in a way that connects with people and trying to bridge that gap. That's where the struggle is
Yeah.
meeting those people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Making that
Yeah.
connection.
I understand that. I'll share something with you in that regards. I met with a producer, director, screenplay writer, actor the other day. His name's Ryan. And Ryan was telling me that the last film that he did last year was a big fu to the film industry because, in a funny way, because he made a movie that he thought was funny and he didn't care if anybody else would like it. And that's the film that went global, international, award winning in every continent.
Because he stuck to his original.
Because he did what he wanted
creativity.
to do and wrote what he thought was funny, and he didn't care about the outcome.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think that's a really powerful statement. I mean, I used Post Malone earlier. I was one of the, and the only reason I know this is because SoundCloud sent me like an achievement award or something. Like, you were one of the first people to listen to White Iverson by Post Malone.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, so it was like you're 0.0005% of the first billion people that listen to this. And so I'm like, cool. I didn't even know what White Iverson was. I know who Iverson is, the I3 shoes that they did with Reebok back in the day because they were popular in high school at the time. So had him making a song about White Iverson and just throwing it up on SoundCloud and not knowing that him putting himself out there when everyone was telling him not to do it. No, don't do this. Wait. Because it was the middle of the night. He was like, fuck it, full send. I think that's the point that we're getting at right now with music, and people are waking up more to that. It's just like, just
You're kind of
do
cutting out just a little bit.
Am I?
Yeah.
Okay. So I would say it's coming down to just creating it and putting it out there. It doesn't have to be perfect.
I agree with that. And when I first started recording and editing music, I mean, I didn't want to release anything because it never sounds perfect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It never sounds perfect. And so I just thought, I can edit this thing and I can edit this thing and I can edit this thing. And it's just constantly making tweaks and never releasing it. And I finally got to the point I'm just like, if it sounds good to me and it resonates with me and I can feel it in my heart, then cool. I'm just going to send it out and hope for the best.
Yeah. And that's kind of how it is. Have you found any success with social media at all yet, aside from like TikTok Live?
No, TikTok has been pretty much understandably too, it's been basically the only platform I've focused on. I've got an Instagram and all of this stuff. I just don't, for one, I have zero idea how Instagram works. I've spent probably a total of 20 minutes on Instagram ever, and I don't really know how it works. And with Facebook, I'm not really sure what I should put on there, so I just post my TikTok videos to there. So TikTok, I have 13,000 followers right now, and then so I figured just focus on that one. It seems to be growing. Just focus on that one and see what happens. So
yeah, I understand. TikTok's more of like a user-friendly, very personal, individualized experience, whereas Facebook, I feel, is more of kind of like the old. It's like the old Rolodex.
There you are. I heard Rolodex.
Yeah, so Facebook's like the old Rolodex.
You're cutting out real bad.
Really? Might be my internet. What's going on here?
There we go. I can hear you now.
I'm like, what's going on with internet, man?
Oh, your face keeps freezing.
Let's turn the Bluetooth off. There we go. As long as you can hear me, that's all that matters. We chop this up later anyway. So this is live streaming to JG's Network and Lounge right now on a whole bunch of different platforms. We're just in the StreamYard studio.
Nice.
We're in the yard. So
is there anybody watching right now?
There have been, yeah. There's been a bunch of people popping in. Sometimes comments will come up on the side, but for the most part, what we do is we'll chop this and we create social media content for you, and we'll teach you how to use Instagram and Facebook.
Sweet. Well, I appreciate that.
Dude, it's too easy.
That'd be great.
Yeah, it is true though. Like it is hard using social media if you never used it before.
Instagram's been a struggle because I know. Can you hear me?
Yes. It's all right.
Oh man, we've been.
You all right? No.
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me. I wonder why.
I hear
you
nothing.
Can't hear me at all. No.
I hear a bunch of
this way. Hear me now.
You live?
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Yeah.
All right. I just unplugged my mic.
So.
Just hold over here.
Oh man, you cut out again.
Dang. Let's see. Let's go.
Is it my connection?
Can you hear me now?
No, I have perfect connection.
Does that work? No,
I
nothing.
got nothing.
What is going on here? Settings, audio.
Can't hear anything.
What about now?
Frozen.
Frozen. Should be working. Audio. Does that work?
There we go.
All right. I think my headphones are just
internet troubles.
I've had these headphones for like 15 years.
Oh no, are those the wired ones you were using?
Yeah. Well, I have these ones too that are wireless. Sorry, buddy. But like my kids have been playing with them, so like the inside's just been ripping apart. So I don't use those very much. Sorry about that. Maybe it was just my headphone.
You're good.
So it's interesting you say about equipment. Like when I started out with film and cameras and stuff before cell phones really like got to where they are now, I had like just an older camera, and I always felt that in order for me to like get paid more or to like have true value for my work, that I had to have like really nice things, right? Quality, right? You have to have a quality lens. You got to. No, that's not true. And you can do stuff and you can master tracks later, but at the end of the day, people are just like, I think people nowadays just want to support the hustle and the grind, right? So that's kind of where JG and I came into play, where it's like we just want to help people help themselves and utilizing different things. And so for us, like interviewing multiple different people at different levels of success, you know, we're able to share that knowledge. Like last night, I got a text message from somebody that was on our podcast a while ago. Do you remember the band Trapped? They did Headstrong.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. So I'm at the arcade with my kids, and I get a message from Chris Brown, Tyler Brown. And he's like, "Hey, man, I'm coming through Utah in November. I would love to see you." And I'm like, "What?" And my girlfriend's like, "Who's that?" And I'm like, "It's the lead singer from Trapped." And she's like, it's kind of like, oh, it's kind of interesting. It's like, well, how'd you guys? In my mind, I'm like, how did we figure that out? And I remember Jukebox just like went hardcore full send last summer and just started emailing every musician from every band that he liked, and then just anyone that was interested would just come on. So it's kind of like from an artist standpoint of just like taking your track and sending it to all of your favorite musicians and be like, thank you for inspiring me. I made a thing. And that seems to work.
I haven't actually done that before.
So maybe just do that and just be like, hey, I wrote a song, whether it's a cover or not, and just like send it to all your favorite musicians that inspired you, and just be like, your song inspired me. I ended up doing my own thing and I did this. So thank you for helping me be creative. And like, that's kind of our secret sauce, man.
I like that.
We just are grateful. We have a good attitude about it. And although it has nothing to do with anything else, like Lil Wayne helped me out a lot. I'm not going to lie. I love his music. Hot Revolver is my favorite track by Lil Wayne, but you would never think that this white boy listens to Southern rap.
Yeah, that's not the song I was thinking you were gonna say.
Well, there's a few, but like that's been my favorite one because it's got the da 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 da, and it's just the bass line on it is just so good. And we took the kids to a concert 2 days ago. Was it 2 days ago? Yeah, and we didn't even know who the bands were. Just some friends of ours they sponsored some tickets, whatever, and we went. And the band's name was Claude, Claud.
Oh, did you go to Metro Music Hall?
No, this one was at Ogden Twilight.
Oh, nice. Okay.
In Ogden. So we took our 9-year-old and our 13-year-old because they like that indie alternative music, whatever. And so, my friend Jared's like really into that stuff. So we went and hung out with him, and this music was so good, and I've never heard it before. And had I not taken a chance on that experience, like, because I'm like, who's going to go to a concert for a band that you just never heard before? There are people like that. So that just goes to show, like, with social media is the same way. Like, I learned a lot about sync licensing, and we can talk more about this later, but like you can get your music just registered as official sounds on TikTok and Instagram without using TikTok or Instagram to get your music out there without you having to be on the screen. And I'm like, what? Yeah, Nate Tauscher actually is his name, that taught me about sync licensing. And so there's just so many different ways to get your stuff out there. You don't have to go the traditional route of, I need to write songs in my house, like whether it's pen or paper, or I don't need to write songs on my phone or notes and then go figure out what I want to do for chords, bridges, intros, outros, crossfading. Am I using auto tune? Do I need a production studio? Do I need a soundproof studio for vocals to clean vocals? It's like, no, you literally can just do the TikTok thing of the and then Jason Derulo goes and makes this like top selling song because this kid used this music maker app on his phone or her phone as a kid and then just made a dance to it. Like it does. That's the point. You can do whatever you want. Think outside the box.
Yeah.
And now Jack in the Box is coming back to Utah, which is crazy.
Yeah.
It drives me. It's kind of funny. My son's name is Jack, so it's just funny. Yeah, I actually have his name tattooed like right there.
I can't see you, by the way, Jesse.
You can't?
No, I can't.
Oh,
I haven't
no.
been able to see you since I've been able to hear you without interruption, but I haven't been able to see you at all.
That's so weird.
I figured maybe only your audio was working for you. Oh, there you are. Hello.
Oh, hi.
You made it back on.
Yeah. There. Oh, right there.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jack Riley.
Yeah, I can attest to. There's definitely tons of people that show up to random events just because they want to hear creativity. I remember I was in a band called Zachary Sage, with my buddy Luciano. You know him.
Okay.
And a few other guys, Adam, and yeah. So we were all in a band. We did quite a few shows at the Metro Music Hall downtown, and I mean we had our families and a bunch of people show up, but the best people that would show up were just random people that they just came to the Metro frequently because they just like to listen to new people.
Yeah.
And they're like the biggest cheerleaders, man. They're so into it.
That's so funny you say that. My career started there.
Really?
My career started at the Metro Music Hall, September 19th, 2019.
Hey, I'm sorry. Give me 2 seconds.
You're okay. Technically, we only got a few minutes anyway. Oh, now your audio is being weird. And I have why?
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah. There we go. Yeah, I mean, technically we only got a few minutes left anyway, but my career started at Metro Music in September of 2019. I was working a part-time job at American Eagle because my wife at the time was complaining that I didn't bring in enough money and she had to work too much. So I got a second job. And it was the greatest thing that I ever did because at the time I had 5 daughters. 5, okay, from ages of 16 to 7 that wore American Eagle clothes. And so I got 60% off. And so I would work one night a week, or one night a month, and I get 60% off. And my boss was like, "Hey, you do photos, right?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, I just got a camera for my birthday 6 months ago, and I'm starting to do photos." So my boss was like, "Hey, I'm throwing this birthday bash at my birthday party, and there's going to be music and performances. Why don't you come do photos? This would be a really good opportunity for you." And I'm like, "All right." And it was at Metro Music Hall, and it was a drag show.
Oh, right on.
I asked my wife at the time to go with me because I was nervous and I've never had my own gig, but it was kind of like her passing me the baton, like, here's your career type thing, and you have no idea what this is gonna be, but like, you're welcome. And I'm like, thank you for helping me with this and editing it. And it was like it was like a famous celebrity that was like the headliner of the drag show, and then the venue itself hired me to be their dedicated photographer for the venue. They liked me so much. I got hired by the state to do the drag pageant show for the state of Utah in the following January. And what was interesting is our relationship dissipated from that moment in September because of whatever reason. And then I got picked up for all these other shows, and then it turned into concerts. So it's funny that you say Metro Music Hall, because that's where my career started with very specific person who taught me how to use a camera. And then I met the owners of Metro Music Hall, Lance and Will are them. Lance Anders and Will Sartain. And then Lance started inviting me to go to music festivals that they were hosting down in southern Utah. And so like it compiled. And then when COVID happened, it shut everything down. And I ended up just photographing for the same drag queens, but like drag brunches in restaurants and bars. And just it went from there. Like I met Red Jumpsuit Apparatus. I met Dead American and Seosin and Anthony Green at Metro Music Hall. And it was because my brother-in-law used to do music with those guys in My Chemical Romance. And so they remembered me when I was like 12.
Oh, My Chemical Romance. Nice.
Yeah. Gerard dated my stepsister, Natalie, for a while back in high school. So it's just a small world. And it's interesting that you played there and I never ran into you. That's so crazy. Yeah, that's nuts. But yeah, that's my old stomping grounds. That's where my career started. And now I'm going to Coachella. I'm doing a documentary at Coachella in January.
Oh no, you cut out again.
Oh, did I? Guess I wasn't supposed to say that. Can you hear me now?
I have no idea what you said.
It's like every time I touch one of my stones. Yeah. Can you hear me now? Let's see.
Are we in one of those, what do they call it?
All right, let's try that again. One last time. We'll wrap this up.
Are we in one of those retrogrades?
No. Oh yeah, actually.
Mercury retrograde.
Mars is retrograde right now.
Technology all starts going haywire.
Yeah. Can you hear me? Can you hear me okay?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I can hear you.
Are we in a Mercury retrograde?
Mars.
So what does that mean?
Mars retrograde.
The technologies or something's supposed to have problems. I'm not sure.
Mars is the ruler of Aries.
So you got to connect the dots for me because it doesn't connect the dot.
All right, so Mars is the ruler of Aries. So it's like if you know any Aries individuals, you're gonna be feeling some energy from those guys.
I've never met one of those before.
No, not at all. My son is an Aries. He's probably the one on the internet right now downloading something on Roblox, and that's why I have bad internet connection. That's how I look at it.
Nice.
Yeah. Aries is a powerful energy, man. Some of my closest friends and best friends and supporters are Aries, but also I've been burned by that bonfire so many times with that Aries energy where it's just like, all right, Aries men are my best friends. Aries women, not so much.
I've only ever been with one Aries, and that is the only one I'll ever be with.
Yeah, I mean, be friends with Aries guys, but Aries girls, now let's take away. Let's chill with that. But it's funny you asked that. So yeah, Mars retrograde is definitely a thing that happened just the other day. You like how I just pull out a book and I just know? It's like,
yeah, you're just like, yeah, I got the info right here.
Hold on, I got this. Yeah. So yeah, Mars went retrograde on September 4th. We had the new moon on September 2nd, which was the most beautiful day for me. Mercury retrograde ended, and then we have a full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces on the 17th.
Nice.
Which I can't wait for, because on September 20th, Saturn quintiles Uranus, and I feel like September 20th is going to be a really good day for us Pisces. I just have a feeling. Yeah, I'm supposed to be traveling those few days to work with a few artists in one of my luck cities. So this is astral cartography. So for me, ironically, Las Vegas, every work that I've ever done in Las Vegas has blown whoever I'm working with up. It's just a luck grid for me. I've got 3 artists, and I'll tell you right now, Wiz Khalifa is one of them. And Wiz Khalifa is one of the most well-known rappers out there. So I got to go meet him and a collaboration he's doing with a dear friend of mine, Rainbow, and her career's taken off, and a few other new artists on the rise. Echo is also in Las Vegas. He's a rapper on TikTok. Guys, go check out Echo. A good friend of mine.
I've heard of Echo, actually.
Sorry, my dog. Oreo, come here. Oh, fuck. Hold on a second. Come here, dude. There's some big-ass deer in my yard right now. Come here, dude.
Oh, right on.
Yeah. That's such a good sign. You all right? Come here, bud. Come here. Let's not get eaten by deer.
It's always a good way to spend the morning, is looking out at the deer on the back porch. Yeah.
All right, Nate. It's been a pleasure having you on, man. Let's wrap this up. Where can we find you? Where can the listeners find you?
You can find me on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. It's really simple. It's just under JustNate. That's JUST Nate. The reason why it's just Nate is because people are always like, is it Nathaniel? Is it Nathan? Which is every person that meets me. Is it Nathaniel? No, it's not Nathaniel. It's just Nate.
I love that. Just Nate. His music's coming out. Go follow him on TikTok. He does TikTok lives. Up and coming, on the rise on social media is what I'm going to say. You're up and coming on social media, but you've been doing your thing for a while now, and let's help him grow and share his music, love light of his artistic expression. I think it's a really good thing to talk about, because it doesn't matter where you're at on the journey. The point is that you're on the journey.
Yeah, 100%.
So from me to you, I just want to say thank you for saving, for surviving 100% of your worst moments, man. Like, to make it here today for this podcast, it means a lot to me. And, we only have good days. Bad moments happen. Doesn't make it a bad day. It's still a good day. You know what I mean?
Right.
And we only have good days. So thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience and for sharing your music with the world. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate that you guys are investing your time and want to get to know me a little bit. And
yeah, of course.
Yeah, so I appreciate you guys, and looking forward to seeing you in Vegas.
Excellent. All right. Until next time, guys, that is our podcast interview with Just Nate. Peace out, Cub Scouts.
See you later.